Hey guys, ever felt like you just can't get out of your head and everything you do appears as a puzzle to be picked over for meaning? You're not alone. Today, we're exploring why we overthink and sharing 5 science-backed techniques to turn that mental noise way down. Let's begin. What is overthinking? Overthinking is when your mind goes from one what if worry to another and sees the worst that could happen in every situation. It's linked with anxiety, perfectionism, and sometimes trauma. Sound familiar? You might spend a fair amount of time worrying about past mistakes and future outcomes or focusing on small details. But here's the rub. It saps your energy, feeds anxiety, and clouds your judgment. Imagine playing back a conversation from yesterday in your mind, time and again, worrying about whether you said the right thing, or lying awake at night imagining how a job might fail in every possible way. It's overthinking, and it leaves people mentally limp, caught up in a constant state of uncertainty. Why we overthink? To be blunt, why does this happen so damn much? Most often, fear is driving the boat. Fear of failing, of being judged on something you've done or left undone. Maybe you're a bit of a perfectionist and dread the thought of making a wrong choice. Or it could come from struggles with mental health like anxiety and depression. Evolution has a part to play too. Our brains are set up for spotting threats, but in today's world, that survival instinct can turn little stresses into big headaches. For instance, your brain may feel a work email like it's a life and death situation, deluging yourself with stress hormones. The good news? Once you've got hold of what's causing this, then you can start to take some control. Let's see how to do that. 6 ways to stop overthinking. 1. Get grounded in mindfulness. Mindfulness is a secret weapon. Studies have shown that meditation helps to sharpen focus and reduces overthinking because it trains your brain to stay present where you are. Here's a mind trick. Pause for a moment, take 3 deep breaths, and name 5 things you see. This simple act pulls you out of your head and into the now. But mindfulness isn't just about breathing, also incorporates an attitude of inquiry. I imagine my thoughts as clouds pass in the sky. I can see them, but I don't have to jump in the air to touch one. Beads help keep me on track. His practice with the Tibetan light breathing meditation makes it so easy to find your voice, and here are 9 more options, fine-tuned especially for new tournament circumstances, and suggestions that will help you guarantee better results, which history can match. Apps like Headspace or Calm might help, but even 60 seconds of focused breathing can reset your mindset. Pro tip: pair this with sensory activity, such as holding a cold drink or listening to rain sounds. You will feel even more grounded. Set a worry time limit. Allocate 10 minutes each day for worrying, then be done with it. If your mind insists on keeping a running tally outside this period, jot it down to handle later. This conditions your brain to contain overthinking. Here's how. Set a 10-minute timer, say at lunch or after work. Write down all your anxious thoughts. When the timer stops, close the journal and cheer. Time's up. If worries spring to mind later, remind yourself, I'll take care of this tonight during my worry time session. Over time, this sets boundaries and stops overthinking from running amok. Bonus: read over your worry list afterward. You may well come to see patterns or notice that many of the fears never came true. 3rd challenge: catastrophic thoughts. Ask, am I afraid of this thing for good reasons? Often our doomsday scenarios are unlikely. Note your fear in writing, then answer it back with factual information. Example: if I make a mess of a presentation, will I lose my job? It seems doubtful. Goad the wretches out of yourself even further by confronting your fears straight on. Press them against a wall or put them in a vice. Play yourself the opposing counsel's argument. Ask, on what evidence do I base this point? What are ways out of it that don't give up yet, even though I have done something? Outward into daylight. If you've decided your friend is angry with you, write down specific reasons, e.g., they called yesterday. This breaks the cycle and it becomes easier to argue in. 4. Embrace imperfection. Perfectionism breeds overthinking. Tell yourself, done is better than perfect. Start small. Send that imperfect text and submit the unpolished manuscript. Soon, you'll feel more self-secure and break the pattern of behavior. Let's think of it as a muscle. The more you act despite not knowing what will happen, the stronger your courage muscle becomes. Say you're worrying over a social media posting on Instagram, for example. Publish it even though the comments aren't polished to perfection. Perhaps no one will see the typo, but you'll have done something empowering. And remember, you can only practice for growth, not perfection. 5. Practice self-compassion. Speak to yourself as you would a friend. Replace "I'm such an idiot" with "I'm doing my best." Studies show that self-compassion reduces anxiety and thinking about problems. The point is to write yourself a letter of solace as if you were comforting a loved one. You say how hard things are for them. I see you're all upset about X. And suggest ways to love themselves. You can feel the way. It's okay for that. You're doing your best. Or say words like, I let go of the need to be perfect. I am not my output. With enough practice, thinking like this will feel more natural. 6. Limit stimulants. Coffee and energy drinks might seem like a survival, but they may also make your feeling of anxiety rise. Try changing the afternoon latte you have with herb tea or a cup of water. Caffeine has the effect of making the body stressed, so that overthinking seems magnified. Some minor adjustments in diet can bring great clarity of mind. Remember, overthinking is not your fault, but it is something you can change. Try these out and remember, one step at a time, not to perfection. If this is helpful to you, please press the like button and share your methods below.